Bruchim Aboim, Shem Irgen Shirei Torah, Moses Bosun. I'd like to welcome everyone back to the annual Summer Kiddush Hashem, the 23rd annual Summer Kiddush Hashem program, which is enjoyed by thousands of Yidden throughout the world. I'd like to give a big yeshikayach to Mr. and Mrs. Ari Parnas for sponsoring tonight's shir, and a big yeshikayach to Mr. and Mrs. Ner Karas for their sponsorship of the Nishmas, Hayisha Gittel Chanel Bashabaran HaKoyin, Shalom Mechai Mitzvah Ben Avrohom Schorr. I'd like to give a yeshikayach to the supporter of tonight's shir, David Weiss, CPA, 718-871-8502, the Nishmas, his brother, Reb Chaim Tzvi, Ben Yosef Elchanan, Olav Shalom. Tanish Meseim Tzurus B'tzor HaChaim. I'd like to welcome everyone joining in, everyone who came here in person, everyone listening on the phone, and so on. Bruchim Aboim to everyone. Tonight we have the cover once again to have with us Rabbi Avrohom Schorr, Shlita, Rav Beis Medrash Nezeg Dal Yo, who give us Divrei Chizuk B'zman HaHester, finding inner strength in challenging times. How? I cover to call on Rav Schorr, Shlita, for tonight's drasha.
Shus Choshev and Tzibur. Posik says, Oid ma'at ve'en rosha ve'ispanantu al mekimei ve'enenu. The Einikol of Baal Shem HaKodesh, the Rabbi Avrohom Meshbush, said Dvorim Nifloim of Chizuk in these words. Oid ma'at, there is always left over a ma'at, that ve'ein rasha, that the chelik of no good never touches it. And if so, that a person has in himself a chelik that's called ve'ein rasha, all that the person has to do is vizbainanta al mekaymai. Bino is mevim mitdover mitoich dover. He has to build through Bina on that mokaim of Toiv that he has, and with that ve'einenu, the whole rishus that the person has will not be here anymore. So we know a dover nifla, oid ma'at ve'ein rasha. We can use this word of the Rabbi Avrohom to discuss how a person finds that oid ma'at, that inner strength that's called oid ma'at. How does one find it? What does it mean there is a oid ma'at? And what does one do to awaken that oid ma'at? To understand a little better what the words oid ma'at mean. This past Shabbos in the Berachos of Bilam HaRosha, Bilam HaRosha said, Lehibit oven b'Yakov v'leira omal b'Yisrael, ki Hashem elekov imoi utruas melech b'y. The Sefer Rav Tuf brings on this posik that the Rebbe Rab Zisha said that he never saw a malach that was created from the Aveira of a Yid. We know that we are told that when a person does mitzvahs, he creates a malach tev, and when he does the opposite, he creates an opposite malach. He never saw a malach that was created from an Veira of a Yid, that malach was whole, that malach had all its hands, all its feet, that malach was a complete malach. Why? Because even when a Yid does what he's not supposed to do, he's not happy with himself. It bothers him what he does. He brings a taich which comes originally from Rabbi Yisrael Mivlednik, a Talmud of the Chernobyl, a Neiridike Taich. In Posik it says, in Tillim, Hashem, negdecha kol tavosi, v'anchosi mimcha loy nistara. Taich is the She'eres Yisrael, the Velednik, a Neiridike Taich. Ribeinu Shalom, I know negdecha, against you, is called tavosi. Meine taivis, what I give myself, what I indulge in, is negdecha, are against you, are not what you want. But remember one thing, Ribeinu Shalom, va'anchosi, that krechts that I give b'shas maise, memcha lo nistara, you don't forget that, you know about that krechts. And you know that I never do an Aveira with the complete Ratzain, because even when I do an Aveira, it bothers me. I have an Anocha, I have something that I'm not happy with myself. And therefore, the Malach that's created from the Aveira is never a complete Malach. Lehibit oven b'Yakov v'leira amal b'Yisrael. Because b'shas, when the Yid does the Aveira, he doesn't forget completely about the Ribeinu Shalom. He remembers the Ribeinu Shalom and Hashem Elekov Imoi, even when he does Kineged the Ribeinu Shalom. How is the Ein Yankiv Geiris in the Gemara? The Ein Yankiv is Geiris in the Gemara. Sof Mesechtes Berachos. B'chol drachecha da'eyu. That a ganev apum machtarta rachmona karye. A ganev, even while he's digging into the machteres, which the Torah Kedosha teaches us in Parashas Mishpatim, in B'machteres Yemotze Aganov, is domim einloi. He has no domim, because you could kill Kedem machteres, because his Baal is kein nefashos. That machteres, that ganev apum machtarta, still has in himself a nekuda, that Rachmana Karya, he asks to Ribeinu Shalom when he's digging the machteres that he shouldn't get killed. He doesn't forget about the Ribeinu Shalom. It's Hashem Elekov Imoi. The Eibishter is still with him. He never is perik all completely, and therefore the Malach that's created from it is not a complete Malach. The Gemara says in Mesechtes Ereven, Hadudoim nosnu reach, Eilu bechure Yisrael, Shaloi toamu tam chet. I heard from the Rebbe the Beis Yisrael's Chusei Yodna Aleinu. What does the Gemara mean, Shaloi toamu tam chet? Why doesn't the Gemara say, Eilu b'chure Yisrael shaloi chotu? Why is the Gemara talking about Eilu b'chure Yisrael shaloi toamu tam chet? Because we're not talking about b'chure Yisrael that loi chotu. We're talking about b'chure Yisrael that are chotu. But even when they're chotu, they can't have the full gishmak in the Aveira, because their heart bothers them. They still remember there is a Ribeinu Shalom on the world. And there's libay noikfei, even when he does the Aveira, and he can't have the full tam in the Aveira. He can't be margish the full gishmak in the Aveira, because he still remembers the Hashem Elekov Imoi. That could be a new pshat in the Rebbe Avrohom. Everybody learns that the Rebbe Avrohom means oid ma'at ve'ein rasha. It means that in every person there's a nekuda that is not a rasha. No, the Rebbe Avrohom means much more than that. In every maisa of a person, even in the worst maisa that a person does, there's always left over a ma'at that he doesn't touch ve'ein rasha, because he doesn't do the Aveira with his complete heart. He never does the Aveira completely to be perik oil from the Ribeinu Shalom. And Mamela, he always has a nekuda in every maisa, in every asiyah that he does, that it's ve'ein rasha. That could be the oimek, based on the Rav Tuv, based on the Torah of the Vlednike, how we can understand the oid ma'at ve'ein rasha. But we have to know, what is the mahalach? What is the way that a person awakens the oid ma'at? First I have to be misbeinen amekoimai, that it should be ve'einenu the rishus. How do I find that oid ma'at within me? How do I have a koyach to find that nekuda hapnimi that's within me? We will try to find many remozim in the words oid ma'at ve'ein rasha, to teach us ourselves how to find that ma'at that lies in a person. The Rambam writes in Hilchos Yesodei HaTorah, when he talks about the world, and he talks about the worlds around the earth, the Rambam says that the Oilamos are like Gildei B'Tzolim. The Rambam says that the worlds are like the layers of an onion. Just like the layers of the onion, one layer surrounds the next, so too the one world is around the other world. As it says in our Rambams on the side of Nagah, from Mo, Nagah, Nagah, Rab Chaim Kanievsky Shlita, that the Makar of this Rambam is a Zohar HaKadosh. 2 times it says in Rambam, the Makar of this Rambam is, nowhere is it mentioned in Chazal, this mashal to the worlds, except in Zohar HaKadosh, that the worlds are like Gildei B'Tzolim. Moire de Kezach, why do we have to know that the worlds are like Gildei B'Tzolim? What is it negeya to us? Seda a sefer from a Yid in Eretz Yisrael, that's Megala Adover Neira Ad Miyot, Adover Nifla Ad Miyot. The Eibishter created Teva, that we should learn from the Teva. Everything that there is in the Teva, we are able to learn from it Avdus Hashem, and we're able to learn what the Eibishter wants from us. One of the things that we find in Teva is that when we cut an onion, it causes a person to cry. What is the tachlis of that? Why did the Eibishter make it that way? For what reason did the Eibishter make it that we should cry when we cut onions? True, there is a memory of tzaddikim. I don't remember from who it is, but he once told one of the noshim that were cutting tzibelis and were crying from the sharpness of the onions, and he told them, instead of crying for the onions, be mechaven to cry on Churban HaMikdash. Meaning sometimes the person can't cry, and the onions cause him to cry. Once you're crying already, use it right. A very important nakuda. But still, there's something much deeper in the fact that when you cut an onion, you cry. And he says, Eidavar Neira Ad Miyot. The worlds, the Rambam says, are like Gildei B'Tzolim. There's Oilamos. There's worlds around us, separating us from the Kisei HaKavod. How do I reach from this Olam HaTachton, from this world down here, all the way to the Kisei HaKavod? How do I get to the Kisei HaKavod? If the worlds are Kegildei B'Tzolim, the Rebbeinu Shalom gave us a mashal in the world, that when I cut through the layers of onions, I cry. To teach me that if I want to cut through the layers of the worlds, and I want to reach the Heilige Bashefer, there is no other way to reach the Heilige Bashefer better than using the koyach of the ma'os, the power of tears. Because that's what the onion teaches you. Cutting through the layers of the onion brings tears to teach you that cutting through the worlds that are like Gildei B'Tzolim, the way to do it is using tears. So we have a Nirdik Nekuda. Tears are able to break through all the hester, all the blockages that are between us and the Rebbeinu Shalom. The Heilige Chassam Sofer writes in the Rosh on Zion of that since the world was created, nobody was able to create soap to wash out the eyes of a person. The eyes of a person are koilet a lot. And whatever a person sees stays in their eyes. Sagt the Heilige Chassam Sofer, there is one thing that could clean eyes: tears. Tears have an ability that they can clean the eyes. They have a cleansing power. But we are looking at something to take us out from our hester and to bring out the pneumius of a person. and all the layers that have separated me from the Rebbeinu Shalom, all the layers that cover me, that don't let me find that ma'at that's within me, that inner strength that's within me. How do I get to that ma'at that's within me? Tears. Remez ledavar, the word ma'at, is begematria dima. Because with dima we find the ma'at. The Sfas Emes writes a davar nifla in the taich of the word dima. Sfas Emes says the word dima comes from the lashon dimua. We find in truma that gets mixed with chulin is called dimua. So we know that the lashon of dimua means a mixture. Zog the heilige Sfas Emes, when does a person cry? Superficial pain doesn't cause a person to cry. Pain that reaches his heart, pain that the person feels in his heart, causes him to cry. That's why dmois are from the lashon of dimua. Daika, because I feel the pain. Daika, because I'm able to take the davar that's bothering me, and it should come to my pnimius alev, and it should touch my heart. That brings out the mo'is. When a person realizes his richuk from the Rebbeinu Shalom, when a person realizes how far he is from Hashem, how much we are missing in Golus, and what kind of Hester Ponim there is, and how far we are, and that causes him to cry out to Hashem, those tears come from the pnimius of the person. Those are true demois. And those demois have an ability to tear through all the hesteres, all the gildei bitzalim, all the layers of the worlds that are nimshal to onions, and bring me closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is the way a person finds the ma'at. That is the nekuda of finding the ma'at. Oid ma'at ve'ein rasha. There's a reason why oid ma'at ve'ein rasha. We say every day in davening, the first beracha in tefillah, in Shemana Esrei, we end Baruch Ato Hashem Mogein Avrohom. We know that we're only one that we're chosim Rashi in Pashas Lech Lecha, B'cha choismen. We start Elekei Avrohom, Elekei Yitzchak, Elekei Yaakov, aber chosim, we're chosim Mogein Avrohom. The Chidusharim says, what does the words Mogein Avrohom mean? Says the Chidusharim, Avraham Avinu was noiteya, planted in every single yid a nekuda. Avraham Avinu was Avraham Avinu was the father to every yid. Avraham Avinu planted a nekuda in a yid, and the Eibishter watches over that nekuda, that nekuda shouldn't get lost. That means Mogein Avraham. The Eibishter Kaviyachol Bashitzt. The Eibishter watches over, the Eibishter protects the nekuda of Avraham Avinu in every yid. Every yid has a oid ma'at ve'ein rasha, because every yid is a ben Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov. Every yid has himself a nekuda of the Oveis HaKadoshim. It says in Tana de Be'elio, Chayiv Odom Loimar. A person is mechuyev to say, Mosai Yagiu Maisai LeMaisai Aveisai. When will my Maisim come to the Maisim of my Oveis, Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov? The Heilige Rebbe Rabbunim of Peshischa asked, who in the world has a Hava Amina? Who in the world could think that he can be like Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov? That he should say, Mosa Yagiu Maisai LeMaisai Aveisai? And the Rebbe Rabbunim of Peshischa answered that Yagiu means a loshon of Negiah. A loshon of Negiah means like a chain, that one links into the other. And you could be all the way on the bottom of the chain, but once you're connected all the way above. Hagoyin HaGodol Rabbi Yankiv Meir Shechter Shlita explains in one of his svarim, Why does a person shake by Shemana Esrei? What reason do we shake when we daven? What reason do we shake when we learn? When a person, lo aleinu, is hanging from a tree, he moves. If he's standing on the earth, he doesn't move. We are all connected with a chain all the way up to Avrohom Avinu, which connects us all the way up to the Rebbeinu Shalom. When we daven and when we learn, says Rabbi Yankiv Meir, we pick ourselves up from the earth a little bit, so we start to shake. And you know what happens when we start to shake? We shake the chain all the way up. The chain starts to shake all the way up to the Avos HaKadoshim. Because Mosai Yagiu Maisai LaMaisai Avosai. If a person remembers who he is, a person remembers, why is Chayiv Adam Loima Mosai Yagiu LaMaisai Avosai? Why is it such a chiyuv? Because the greatest churban in the world is when a person loses his self-respect. A few weeks ago, in England, everybody knows that the kingdom in England is something of the past. There's no kingdom. It's a spiel. But Malchus still has in it Malchus. And if Malchus still has in it Malchus, there is Ginunei Malchus. There is Midos of Malchus. I don't think I have to tell anybody in the audience what the rules of the Malchus of England is. When the Prince of England married a girl who wasn't of princely descendants, you know very well what she had to be mechayev herself. A dress code. That we can be ashamed of the dress code that she had to take upon herself for the rest of her life. Because she realized that becoming a princess is a mechayev to elevate yourself. A mechayev to look like a princess. Tired tzaddikim, we are all princes. We had kings as our forefathers, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. We have the Rebbeinu Shalom as our king. Bonim atem l'Hashem Elokeichem. Let us look what in this world of today, in a kingdom that doesn't exist even, how much a kingdom is mechayev rules and regulations of edelkeit, of tznius, of anhoga, of hecherkeit. If we would realize the chayiv adam loymar, that I touch my avos, I touch my avos hakedoshim. Maybe we can touch the avos hakedoshim a little bit differently. There is told a Mordechai Sipur. The Heilige Sar Sholem of Belz was a Choyle Mesuken. And he sent a shliach to Rabbi Yitzchak Nishchize, that Rabbi Yitzchak Nishchize should be mispal for him. He was a tzaddik gadol. And Rabbi Yitzchak Nishchize said to the shliach, I cannot be mispal for him, because in Bezdna Gadol Shamayim, they need somebody to replace one of the dayanim, and he has to be nistalik to go up to Bezdna Shamayla. The Rebbetzin was standing in the other room, and she said, nobody dies in Shamayim. What do you mean they have to replace somebody? And he didn't answer her. The shliach, after he was ready to leave, asked, what is the answer to what she asked? And the Nishchiza told him, Adova Neira Admiyat. The Yid in Bezdna Shamayla It's very, very great neshama. You understand that he says it on Brezin Shalmaila. But in generations later, one of his descendants veered from the Derech HaYashar. And when his descendant veered from the Derech HaYashar, they removed him from Brezin Shalmaila. And that's why they need somebody else. And the Nishchiza said, I have an Eitzah. The Sasholem should become a Saginor and Suma Choshev Kemes, and he'll be able to be on this world and above at the same time. A Davar Nifla. But the story is a murdik story. The story means we have a chain to the Avos. You know what it means we have a chain to the Avos? That when we go down Chas v'Shalom, we pull down the Avos. We can raise ourselves to realize that we belong to the Avos and pick ourselves up a little bit and higher ourselves a little bit. And we can look the other way, Chas v'Shalom, we can fall down and pull the chain down. In Parshas Devarim, it says in the Torah HaKadoshah, Moshe Rabbeinu says on the inyan of the Meraglim, Vayitav be'enai hadovar. Asks the Sfas Emes, what do we have to know that Vayitav be'enai hadovar? What Musar is that? Zok the Sfas Emes, you know what the Musar is? That because you wanted the Meraglim, you were poigim in Moshe Rabbeinu. Says the Sfas Emes, every Yid should watch himself. Because when he does an Aveira, he cheppes the Moshe Rabbeinu of his generation to become weaker. But we have something else to strengthen ourselves. Everybody knows who his grandfather was. Everybody thinks of his yichus, who his great-grandfather was, and everybody knows that we're a Ben Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. It's a murdik and mechayev, chayev adam loymar. We have to raise ourselves to that madrega of realizing that we're a Ben Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Oid ma'at ve'ein rasha. In every one of us, there is a nekuda of Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Avraham Avinu implanted a nekuda, Yitzchak implanted a nekuda, Yaakov implanted a nekuda. And therefore, ve'ein rasha. If you will look at the numerical value of ve'ein rasha, you will see it's begematria, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Because you have in yourself a nekuda of the Avos. And Avos miklal de ikotoldos. If there's Avos, there's Toldos. And if we remember that there are Avos and that they give us the strength to overcome and they give us the strength to be good, then we use that strength and we have the ability to overcome everything because the Avos are standing by and giving us the ability to overcome. That's Oid Ma'at. But I have to believe in the Oid Ma'at. I have to realize who I am. I have to realize I'm a Ben Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. I have to realize my chshivus. I have to realize my status. I have to live up to my status. And then I have that koyach nifla of the Avos HaKadoshim that stand by me and give me the strength and the inner strength to overcome all the hardships and all the status that there are. Let us go to a third nukuda in the words of Oid Ma'at ve'ein rasha. In today's day and age, we all look for big things. I'm not here to criticize anybody, but just to wake ourselves up a little bit. We go to a bar mitzvah. There's a 13-year-old bacha sitting by the table. His first day as a mechuyev b'mitzvahs. What do we wish him? Das Auswachsen a Godel b'Yisrael. You know, it goes by a year. that Bacha sees by himself that he can't be a Gadol B'Yisrael anymore. The Yitzhar taught him very fast, Kan Gadol you won't be anymore. So then why am I here in this world for? If all I had to be was a Gadol B'Yisrael, then what is my tafkid in my life if I'm not a Gadol B'Yisrael? Let me say over what I heard from my father, Zechon Avrohom, on a tape. He was maspid a Yid, a carpenter. A Yid, a Erlich, a Yid, a Wiener Yid. He was a carpenter, a Yirei Shamayim Merabim. And on the Shloshim he said a hesped. And he started the hesped with the following story. That on the way back from the Kvura of the Baal Shem HaKadosh, the Talmidim were discussing who the Baal Shem was. And as the Talmidim were discussing who the Baal Shem was, the greatest Talmud of the Baal Shem, the oldest Talmud of the Baal Shem, was Rab David Leikus. And Rab David Leikus said, I'll tell you who the Rebbe was. And everybody came and surrounded him and thought, you know what he's going to tell us? He'll tell us Mordeke Sachen. He'll tell us he knew Kabbalah. He'll tell us he knew this, he knew that. And Rab David Leikus said, the Rebbe given an Erliche Yid. That's the biggest schwach that there is. An Erliche Yid, straight. Ehrlich. That's the greatest thing to tell about Mitzvah Bacha. Nicht kan Gadol B'Yisrael. An Erliche Yid. An Erliche Yid, everybody could be. Everybody is possible to be an Erliche Yid. Everybody could reach to be an Erliche Yid. Oid ma'at. Maybe there lies here a murdike key. Don't look for big madreges. You want to grow? Don't think that you have to go all the way up. I heard the Rebbe of Beis Yisrael told somebody, at the age of 13, he came to Eretz Yisrael about Mitzvah Bacha. I happen to know very well who he is. And he walked into the Rebbe of Beis Yisrael, Tafshi and Lamed Vav. And the Rebbe of Beis Yisrael told him, it says in the Torah, Loisala b'maloi sal mizbechi. When you go up to the Mizbeach, you don't go up with steps. You go up with a ramp. What's the difference? Steps, you could run very fast. A ramp, you have to fight your way up. When you go up in Yiddishkeit, you go up step by step. You're on a ramp. You're not on steps. You can't jump steps and you can't run steps. You go slowly, step by step by step. Oid ma'at, me bet nicht von die größe Sachen. Me bet here only go oid ma'at. Don't stop. One step and another step. Nobody said it has to be a giant step. It could be a baby step. But oid ma'at, abi the geist weiter. You don't stay standing. You move in the right direction. Oid ma'at, noch a bissel, noch a bissel, noch a bissel. The end will be ve'ein rasha. If you try to jump all the way up, I heard from one of the Tzadikei Adar, that when you go all the way up and you fall, you trask yourself very bad. And when you go very high, you're apt to fall. And you're apt to fall hard, and you're apt to hurt yourself. But when you go oid ma'at, a step at a time, and you koin it, then you go and you have an atzmius. That's the oid ma'at. Shtickle by shtickle by shtickle. Go a step after a step and move slowly up and up and up. And when you'll move slowly up and up, it'll become a nitzchias. Rabbi Shlomo Kluger writes in his Sefer on Chanukah that something that happens suddenly gets lost suddenly. Something that happens little bit at a time is nitzchias. Mamish di diburim. Oid ma'at, if you'll take small steps, that'll be for nitzchias. You'll be koinit for nitzchias. And if you'll be koinit for nitzchias, then at the end you'll have a step after a step, and it'll be ve'ein rasha. But the Yitzhar is a mumche. The Yitzhar knows that that won't happen. He tells you, nah, go, jump. Take upon yourself things that you can't keep. Take upon yourself things that are much too hard for you. Go all the way to the extreme. And when you go all the way to the extreme, then you fall all the way right back. Das ist die Nekuda von Oid Ma'at. Daika Oid and Daika Ma'at. Daika you have to do more. Daika you can't stay still. Let's go back to the Pasuk of Leisala B'Malois Al Mizbechi and see another limud. Rabbi Yankiv Ayem Radzemin, whose yahrzeit was yesterday, says a davar neira ad miyot. What's the difference when you go up steps or you go up a ramp? If somebody's on his way up the Empire State Building on the steps and he gets tired, he could stop. On a ramp, if you stop, you start sliding back. Sagt Leisala b'malois al mizbechi. Nobody in Yiddishkeit is on steps. He can't stop. Because if you stop, you slip back. Oid ma'at, you always have to add. You always have to go up. Because you're never on milos. You're never on steps that you could rest in the middle. And you could say, I'm stopping here, I'm not going further. Because if you stop here and you don't go further, you automatically slip on your way back. This is the limud that he says in Leisala B'Malos Al Mizbechi. And that is the limud, daika in the oid ma'at. Daika oid, daika a little oid, more, and ma'at. Maybe we can tie this in with Bein HaMitzarim. In Parshas Vayishlach, there is a pasuk with a sfas emes on this pasuk, a davar nifla. When the Eibishter came to Yankov Avinu, and he told Yankov Avinu that he's going to change his name to Yisrael, it says in the pasuk, Vayera Elekim Oid. Fragt es Hasames, what is this word Oid? And he says at the end of the piece, it's a Moeredike piece, it's not for now. Just one Nekuda on the floor that it says there. The Nekuda of Oid, he says, is the Nekuda of Nachla B'li Mitzarim. And I will explain. What does Bein HaMitzarim mean? You know what Bein HaMitzarim means? You are locked in. You can't be nispashet. It doesn't let you move. The opposite of Bein HaMitzarim, sagt the sfas emes, is Nachla B'li Mitzarim. Yankov Avinu gave us a Nachla B'li Mitzarim, the opposite of Bein HaMitzarim. The Nachla B'li Mitzarim is the Nekuda of Oid. You know what the Nekuda of Oid is? It says in that sfas emes, a person has limited koiches. It's not true. If you fill your koiches, you have an ability to get more. You have an ability to always get Oid. Yankov Avinu had finished Yankov. What did the Eibishter do when he finished Yaakov? He gave him a new job, Yisrael. Vayera Elekim Oid. He gave him a koyach of more. A Yid has a koyach not only to be in Meitzarim, not to be within Meitzarim, not to be within Gvulim. A Yid has a koyach to be nispashet in Lamaila Migvulim, Nachla B'li Mitzarim, without any Gvulim. That Nekuda is Oid. If so, that is the avoid of the 3 weeks. The avoid of the 3 weeks is the avoid of Oid. The avoid of going out of the Meitzarim. A person thinks he's locked in. That's what I am. I won't change. Everybody suffers from it. Everybody suffers from it. Everybody suffers from it, that he thinks that I'm locked in my matziv. You know where that suffering comes from? From Churban, from Bein HaMitzarim. You're locked into your matziv. There's no way that you could change. You're right. Drastic change you can't make. Oid ma'at, you have a koyach of oid, that's nachla b'li mitzarim. You could go out of your mitzarim, you could go out of your gvulim, you could break your gvulim. And then you have binyan, you don't have churban. Churban comes from Bein HaMitzarim. Binyan comes from nachla b'li mitzarim. And that's the oid ma'at. That's the oid ma'at that we all have in ourselves. And if we realize that we have that oid ma'at, and we believe that we have that oid ma'at, and we know that we can awaken that oid ma'at, then everybody has hope. because that's the hope, to take that nekuda, beautiful nekuda that a Yid has in himself, the nekuda nifla that a Yid has in himself, the purity that a Yid has in himself that's not touched, the purity that was never touched by anything. He has the ability to awaken it, to build from it, and to build back his own Beis HaMikdash. The Chidush Rim says, it says in Shulchan Aruch, in Ramah, Roi lechol yirei shamayim liyis meitze v'doyeg al churban HaMikdash. Frag the Chidush Rim, and not a yirei shamayim doesn't have to cry on churban HaMikdash. Only yirei shamayim has to cry on churban HaMikdash. Zok the Chidush Rim, there's your own Beis HaMikdash to cry on. When you're a yirei shamayim, then you cry on the Eibishter's Beis HaMikdash. What is the Chidush Rim teaching us? Every Yid in Bein HaMetzarim has to build back his Beis HaMikdash, has to build back himself, he has to build back. His koichos he has to build back. Let us go to practical application. One practical application in daily life of building back a Beis HaMikdash. An avodah of 3 weeks. Es kommt Tisha B'Av, the Eibishter should help it to be nepach l'sosein u'lesimcha. Oib Chas v'Sholom will be in Golus. We're not going to put on tefillin in the morning. Why not? Why not? What's it the oimek hadover? Everybody knows the reasons. Aber the Aruch HaShulchan teaches us that in every reason there's a deeper reason and another deeper reason. And Chazal's reasons are Adein Seif. Why taka don't we wear tefillin in the morning on Tisha B'Av? I want to be matzia, a new reason. It says in Zohar HaKodesh, V'asu li migdash v'shachanti b'seichom da raza de tefillin. Meaning that when a Yid wears tefillin, he has a kesher to the Beis HaMikdash. The kedusha that tefillin bring to a person are me'en the kedusha that a Yid walked into the Beis HaMikdash. If so, a Yid that's wearing tefillin can't be Margish Churban 100%. You know why he can't be Margish Churban 100%? Because he has part of the Beis HaMikdash with him. The only way the Aveilus of Tisha B'Av could be complete is only if you take off your tefillin. Over the other side, what builds a Beis HaMikdash? What builds by me the Beis HaMikdash? A Yid has Kedushas HaTefillin. Maybe we can touch. Oid ma'at. Where does the person find his inner strength? Where taka could you find your inner strength? We know in Halacha and Yeridea there's a din of matzah, minas, minoi, veneer. If for a dover iser there's matzah, minas, minoi, veneer, is mi de toiva meruba me mi des peroni is chamesh me'is pomem. If when I put on tefillin that are so kodesh onto my guf, it awakens the koyach within me. It's motzah, minas, minoi, veneer. It awakens the pnimius of a Yid. That's why when a Yid puts on tefillin, he becomes niskadish, because the tefillin are motzah, minas, minoi. The pnimius of him, within him, is the minoi of the tefillin. So maybe the right way that a person could work on Bein HaMetzarim to find his pnimius, to find his strengths, is through the mitzvah of tefillin. And every person in the world knows that we can elevate our kedushas tefillin. We can elevate what we do in tefillin. We can elevate how long we wear tefillin. We can elevate the ability of how much the tefillin could be mekadesh me. There is a Yid that's oisik in Balei Tshuva. Rabbi Zamir Kohen. Everybody knows who he is. He tells over a dover nifla ad miyot. A dover nifla ad miyot, which I was mevarer, is 100% true. In Hebrew University in Eretz Yisrael, there's a not yet from a professor, that runs a clinic, that he has a machine to test the brain waves of a person, on which level they are. Purity of the level, what level they are. gegangen a Yiddish Yid that works in the university and said, I want you to take the test on me while I wear tefillin. And he did it. And it registered the highest that anybody ever registered. So he told him, you know what? I want to do the test tomorrow again. Leave by me the tefillin. Gegangen der Professor. And he opened up the tefillin and took out the parshas. Why? Because he saw it's only a mental state. The person thinks he's wearing something holy, so he becomes holy. So I'll take out the parshas, and I'll come back tomorrow, I'll put on the black boxes on him, because I know more tefillin, and I'll register it again, and I'll prove him wrong. And kachave, tomorrow he comes, he puts on the tefillin, v'leidim v'leiyar, it doesn't move. Hat gesehen, dass tefillin taka changes a person? Not only did this professor do that, the professor went further. And he tested the difference in the afternoon of a person who wore tefillin in the morning and a person who didn't wear tefillin in the morning. And the tchilik was between day and night. Because the tefillin not only make a roshim when you wear tefillin, the tefillin make a roshim on the whole day that the person wore tefillin. So it's taka motzah minas minoi v'nir. It taka awakens a merdeke kedusha in a person. It taka awakens a merdeke pnimis in a person. It taka changes the whole day of a person. So avada we have to be nizer in kedusha satfilin. Avada we have to realize that kedusha satfilin is going to build the Beis Hamikdash within me. Is going to give me my Beis Hamikdash. Is going to awaken within me that ma'at that I have. Will touch ma'at, the Beis Hamikdash ma'at within me. That Beis Hamikdash ma'at that exists in Golus, in every Yid, you could awaken with the tefillin because it's motzah minas minoi v'nir and it awakens your kedusha. And that's the avodah of the 3 weeks. The avodah of the 3 weeks is to build our Mikdash, to build our pnimius, and the oifen is through the eitzah that the Eibishter gave us, a mitzvah of tefillin, which awakens a person and brings him back to his kedusha, and with that we will be zeicha to see binyan Beis Hamikdash b'meheira b'yameinu.
Shem Irgen Shir Torah Moses Bossing like a big ashakar to have show for inspiring to the Cyrus. Rabbi said we rely on the support of the Sibur to bring these shiurim to you and to everyone who's joining in through the phone and beyond. Please help Irgen Shir Torah continue with the Habatzas HaTorah by sponsoring a shir. Call Irgen Shir Torah at 718-851-8651 or email tapecenter at yeshivanet.com and have this great schus of Habatzas HaTorah Derabim. We'd like to give a big ashikach to Mr. and Mrs. Ari Parnas, sponsoring tonight's shir. We'd like to give a big ashikach to Mr. and Mrs. Narakaris, the support of tonight's shir and beyond the initials of Isha Gittul Chana Bashabar HaKohen and Chaim Yitzchak ben Avrohom Schorr. I'd like to thank the supporter of tonight's shir, David Y. CPA, 718-871-8502, and the Nishmas's brother, Chaim Tzvi ben Yosef Elchonon, Olav Sholem. Shikach to everyone for coming. There'll be CDs of tonight's shir available shortly. Rechananya ben Akash Shem HaKadosh Baruch Hu L'Zakeh says Yisrael L'Figa Hibel L'Torah Mitzvah Shenem Al Einech Hofes Aman Tzidkoi Yagdul Torah V'Yadeh.